This should be just a quick meeting. Roger, you're muted if you're talking to us. Oh, he's gone. Must not have been talking to us.
How's the weather there, Marianne?
Beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's rained almost every day for more than a week, but not, you know, not a lot of, not, it hasn't been a problem, you know, like showers here and
Right.
there.
Right.
Enough to keep everything nicely watered, so we don't have to water anything. But, and it's warm, and today, I don't think it might have been like misty this morning, and it rained overnight. But it's been a beautiful day, so. And it's nice because I have this nice porch that I can sit out on, for Zoom meetings. So, and then,
Lovely.
so, and the puppy can't get me. So, so,
When's the puppy gonna come to a meeting?
oh, she's been to a few meetings. She doesn't behave well. So, but she's getting better. Sometimes if a meeting, you know, sometimes if she's sleeping, and I'm in a meeting, that can work. But then once she's up, especially at night, she's just kind of crazy. So, I had one meeting that was an executive session, and I had her with me because she was sleeping. And then it was an executive session. So in an executive session, you have to say that there's no one in the room with you. And so I couldn't call anyone to come get her, because, so she was biting me, and it was awful. So, but anyway, but she's getting better. Hi, Elaine.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good. Elaine, the other morning I drove by and you were out for a walk with Jesse. And I actually cried a little bit. It was so beautiful. I imagine it makes you emotional, you know.
Well, I am sitting here. I can give you a little preview of what she got for her baby shower. Let's see if I can show you
Oh,
the
boy.
books.
Nice.
Everything, it was all books with her baby shower. So yeah, it was pretty exciting. This is Lauren and Roger. This is my first grandchild.
Ah, well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
How old?
Oh, he's not born yet.
Oh,
Oh.
he's not.
He'll be born at the end of August.
Ooh.
Oh, Marianne said you were out walking with somebody, and I just
Oh,
assumed
that was my
it the
daughter.
baby.
My daughter
Oh,
was
got it.
here for the weekend.
Okay.
And
got
you
it.
know, and she's pregnant and beautiful, and you know, and it made me happy, you know.
Me
So,
too.
you know,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
I
amazing.
also saw you walking on Sunday.
Oh,
Your daughter.
there's no secrets.
No,
No secrets anymore. She was trying to keep it a little bit quiet, but it's like, well, Jess, you can't anymore.
no, no. So,
Where does she
Not when
live,
it's 90 degrees.
She lives just outside of DC in Arlington. Yeah. We get to see her a lot though.
You know, that's a lovely train ride if you like trains.
Yes. It is. It really is a very nice train ride, but usually we just drive down there. It takes about 7.5 hours. First time we drove down there in COVID, it only took us 6.5 because there was no traffic.
yes. Yeah.
Of course, now
I don't know that Neil will be with us at the start, but he'll join in as soon as he can if he.
Okay. Hello, Dale.
Hello.
Here we go. Here's Jeff.
Dale, have you seen the polls going in?
Yes, I have seen the poll.
How could you miss them?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
Lauren, have we told you yet that they're putting in phase 3 power here in Shutesbury?
It came
Um,
up in our last meeting.
Yes,
Yes, that's great
Perfect
news.
timing, Perfect
yes,
timing.
it is. So the polls are already up to the center of town, and then they've started to go down Wendell Road already. So
It's amazing that once they said they were going to do it, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, they're doing it.
Yes. I imagine it was in the works and we just didn't know about it because why would we know about it? And then they, one day last week, I think they started dropping poles and now they're just out there. And boy, that drill thing that they have this giant drill that drills the hole for the pole. I don't know how deep it goes, but it must go pretty deep. That pole must be pretty deep in the ground and then,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
yes. So anyway, it's pretty amazing. So
Yep,
there's
well,
one across from the post office already, right on the corner of the common. So it's turned Wendell Road and they're going
Mhm.
down. 1, 2, 3.
Which side of the road are they on?
They
The other
bounce back
side.
and forth.
Oh, so as long as they don't put one right where we want the driveway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's not.
No,
There's not one.
no, it's on the other side of the road.
Yes.
Ah, what a thought.
We'd be moving the driveway. Um,
Okay,
Oh,
we're
no.
waiting for Penny and,
Right,
Right,
it's not quite 7.
Right. Yep.
right. Hmm.
Are we expecting Matt and crew?
No,
No?
No.
Okay.
Penny did say that she was coming back from the Cape and I think it was the Cape, and she would not have minutes available, so we don't have any minutes to
Okay.
approve.
okay.
So is there a meeting of Concom on the 22nd? I saw.
Yes. Yes,
And that's at what time?
7 o'clock she has us on there.
And Odinzello is available for that.
Okay,
I already confirmed that.
okay, it is 7 o'clock. Would anybody volunteer to take some brief minutes for us so that we could get started at least, and then I'm sure Penny will be here and she'll take over.
I'll do it.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you, Marianne.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
It is 7 o'clock. I want to 7:01. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First order of business is public comment. Is there any public comment? Mike, I think you're the only one that's public here, so
Nope, nothing tonight.
okay, thank you. Oh, there's Penny. Hi, Penny. We just opened the meeting at 7:01
Thank you.
and there was no public comment. So I will close the public comment portion. We do not have minutes for the meeting from our previous meeting. Oh, Amanda, I'll give you a chance if you have public comment, since we're still in the public comment phase. Any public comment? Okay. Hearing none. We do not have minutes from our previous meeting, and so we will have them at our next meeting, I'm sure, but that's fine. So let's go on to the schematic design. The budget. Did you all receive Mary Ann's notice from Neil?
From
And
Matt.
Yes.
Yes.
okay, would anybody like to make any comments on this?
So I assume that means Neil believes that under the contract that they are entitled to additional compensation.
Yes, and Becky also. That was a sticking point in the contract negotiations. That they, so they were concerned going into schematic design that the cost estimate was high. And so they, the contract, is based on the budget after the schematic design. So,
Yeah.
okay,
After the schematic design,
right, like then they,
Well,
once
okay.
we have a schematic design, then they have to design a building that's not, I think it's 5% more than the cost estimate for the schematic design.
but we're still in schematic design.
Right, right. So, the contract covered 12 weeks of schematic design, and we've exhausted that.
Yeah.
And all the meetings budgeted for. And if we're gonna redo the schematic design, then we have to have, then they have to do more work. Their subcontractors have to do more work.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure our contract agreement was in line with this. Okay. Because I looked at the numbers for 5 weeks of work. I think their numbers are right on. I don't think they're gouging us. I think they're
Yeah.
fair.
Lauren?
Thanks. I don't need it tonight, but I did not receive Neil Joyce's commentary. If somebody could just send that to me at some point.
he didn't send any commentary. So Matt sent the,
Yeah, I got that.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
all there
I'm
is.
sorry. I
Yeah,
just read it as Neil's. I'm sorry, because
yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
to Neil.
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
So,
Thanks.
I mean, Neil and I had a conversation about it before it even came, but he didn't send any written commentary about it.
Mary Ann, could you explain what the conversation entailed?
With Neil, so he told me that sort of a second schematic design wasn't covered on under the contract, and that Matt was preparing whatever he called this document, a fee proposal. We'll call it that. It has a title.
Additional services
Yes,
proposal.
yes, or that Matt was preparing an additional services proposal, and that he had explained to Matt that our budget was really tight and that he expected him to be as fair as possible. And then he said that Matt would be calling me. And so then I didn't, when Matt called the next day, I didn't have time to talk to him, but we scheduled a talk and he and I talked about it. And I do believe that Matt is working very hard and trying hard to understand the scope of this project and our sort of cost constraints and you know, and we're sort of we're doing an experiment, and it's you know, experiments are messy. um and um and I think he's trying to be fair, and I don't think he's really, I don't even know that he's, you know, he has his contractors who had contracts, and he's asking them to redo their designs. And then, you know, and then he's got a staff that he's paying to do this. So, you know, so like, while, you know, all of this is so much money, I think that this is just in line with the range of what things cost.
We go back to explaining the 5% thing again. So we have a cost estimate that's really high.
Right.
And we're gonna reduce the scale of the building and again, do other cuts. And then we're gonna get another cost estimate at another dollar amount.
Right.
That'll come up with a new construction cost. And then how does the 5% relate to that?
So then, so the way that the contract was originally written, and it was kind of like boilerplate contract language, it said that the final design had to come in within 5% of the original contract, or the, you know, like they're required to come up with a final design that is within 5% of the original budget. And that
Which
language, well, it would have been the schematic design, but that language goes back to when you have a schematic design before you get the cost estimate, right? So we didn't have a cost estimate before a schematic design before we had a cost estimate. We had these conceptual cost estimates based on a building program. So it was a lot of, you know, it's not something that's not ever done, but they didn't have the level of detail that they had for the schematic in that schematic pricing set, right? So basically they had square footage so then in the contract, and we'll have to go and look, I didn't go back and look, but we changed the language so that in the next phase, he has to deliver a design that's within a certain range of the budget for the budget from the schematic design. Want me to see if I can get Becky?
Can I explain what I think you're saying? And
Yes.
okay, so when we first started, and we were talking with E&O about this, they were concerned that the budget figures that we had gotten a year and a half ago were not going to be accurate because there were several things, 2 things, I think, missing from that budget. Does that sound correct so far? So they didn't want to agree to having a cap on that number. And the way the contract was then written was, until there's a budget that we get for the schematic that they're doing, there will not be the 5% cap. So once this is reworked and we get a new budget estimate for the schematic, then there will be the 5% cap on that. Does that sound correct?
Correct, and then that will take you through the final bid number.
So
Correct.
5% cap on the July cost estimate. Because they're
Yes.
talking about going to cost estimate in July, right?
Well, the new cost estimate after
Yeah,
this
right.
next schematic
Yeah.
design. So we, so,
Correct.
right,
And then when you go to bid, if the bid numbers are more than 5%, he owes making the design changes to get the price down again.
right.
Okay.
Yes, that's it, Roger. So, but he did,
Okay.
yes. Yes,
Just want to make sure we're all clear. We
Yeah.
all see through the mud. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Penny. I have a question, I guess maybe for Roger. I feel like we're being penalized somewhat because Matt didn't listen well enough initially. Am I being unreasonable?
Not completely. I kind of have that same opinion that, we did, I think, from that original program, increase the square footage when you figured in the actually laying out in some of the non-program spaces, circulation and such. I think that did increase the square footage. But there were things from that original budget that he identified and that were identified that they didn't have numbers for and weren't included. I haven't seen that original design, but I'm kind of just guessing that a lot of the site work and utilities and things were kind of guesswork, but and not knowing where the building was going to be placed. But yes, he did identify in that he didn't know the cost of the items that were excluded from that first estimate from a year and a half ago. So that was in the, as Marianne said, one of the negotiating things that was worked through in the contract.
Yeah, I mean, when
So he kind of did what he said was going to happen.
Mhm.
So it's not, out of the blue or anything.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Questions? I guess the major thing is then that we need to vote on whether to accept this
Mhm.
new bid or new
Proposal.
proposal. Thank you. New proposal. So do I hear a motion to accept the new proposal?
Okay, one more question.
Mhm.
So the new proposal is something like $62,000, is that right?
$68,180.
Of which Shutesbury owes 25% of that? Or all of that?
25%.
25%?
Mm-hmm.
It depends on whether you end up going forward or not.
Mhm.
Yes, Molly.
It says that there's only 2 meetings, in this. Is that gonna be enough? Is that actually true?
So 2 meetings, I asked him what he meant by the 2 meetings. And so he meant 2 design subcommittee meetings, and we have one tomorrow and then one again in 2 weeks. And then I asked him if he'd be willing to go to the Conservation Commission meeting on the 22nd, because I think it would be important to have him there, and he said yes, and that there would be no additional fee.
Okay,
And so, this fee proposal is to get us ready for them to develop another pricing set to send off to another
Mhm.
cost estimator. So, so I think we're gonna make it be enough, because
okay,
we also want to move quickly.
right. I just wanted to check that
Yeah.
that wasn't gonna be a
We're
stopping
also
point.
kind of detouring and then going back onto the regular track of the next
Right.
phase. And whatever number of meetings were included in that,
Right.
and meeting with other committees and boards, I think we're back back into the regular parts of the contract.
And so this, as long as we do complete this project with the MLBC grant, this cost would be $17,000 to us. Is that correct, Lauren? Being 25%?
I haven't done the math, but if that's.
Well, I have, yeah.
5%, then yes.
Yeah. Okay,
So I'll make a motion that we accept the OE proposal
for additional services.
for additional services.
Do I hear a
I'll sec-
second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? I'll take a roll call vote. Mary Ann,
It's Nellis, I.
Stephen,
Almus, I.
Dale,
Pool eye.
Penny,
Abstain.
Molly,
Aye, Moss, aye.
Jeff,
Quackenbush, aye.
Paleo, aye. Okay, the motion passes with one abstention. Is there any other business that people have that didn't come forward that's necessary? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, Almus.
Roll call vote. Mary
It's
Ann,
Nellis, I.
Almus,
Stephen,
I.
Dale,
Pool eye.
Penny,
Aye.
Molly,
Moss, aye.
Jeff,
Quackenbush, aye.
and Elaine Paleo, aye. We ended the meeting at 7:18. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
everyone.
Just, Marianne and Elaine, is the next committee meeting, would that be back on the 2-week schedule? Or is
I
that
think we
decided yet?
decided the next library building committee meeting would be Tuesday, July 11th. Is that right?
Yes,
Because because I think the first
Holiday.
is the 4th, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay. So we'll see many of you at the design committee meeting tomorrow.
Okay, and I didn't,
At 11:30.
At
right, it's at
11:30.
11:30. I didn't get around to posting it as a library building committee too. So people who aren't on the design subcommittee should just sit and listen. Okay, all righty, okay, all righty.
Okay,
Thanks, everybody.
thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah.
Mary Ann, do you have a
Aye.
minute?
Yeah,
Good night.
Good night.
Night.